Smell on your breath. Gloria, booze and peppermint. Gloria, no one said that is. Did you know me when I was younger? I could take the whole world with me. I would find myself feeling alone. No clapping.
It's like,
I need that. I need that.
Max tried to jump in, and Alec goes, "Stop singing, Papa."
We're so bored.
So bored, so tortured by little maniacs, not getting any.
Yeah.
How are you transitioning from selling out arenas to being quarantined? I feel like you've got it worse or differently or more difficult than others. That's like a big come down.
Wes makes Lenny and I cheer for him all afternoon.
Yeah. I'm like, look what I can do, guys.
He wakes up in the morning like, yes!
You know what?
Just so he feels okay.
You know, like we have like Sonos in different parts of our house, and like I just want massive applause.
Yeah, you have an applause track for everything.
Then I feel
you do.
whole.
Yeah.
I feel like a
He puts the dishes away. We push play. Yeah.
I'm such an introvert that it's not very difficult for me to go back to like trying to write. It's still the hard part, I think, is just not leaving the same spot as much.
In our lifetime, it also feels like a time where we realize how kind of extra our lives are here in this country specifically, how much we have, and probably we don't think about it enough. I think this has shown so many people, including myself, what I can live without and the little you need to survive. Are you writing a lot? Because I imagine when you're hunkered down in a space that this could spark creative juices for you to.
A little
bit. Do you write
bit.
on like paper, or do you like type or on your arm, or
on that bar napkin?
Really painful.
No. I was trying to think of the different ways you could like write it down.
What is a notebook guy from my experience, my recollection?
I use legal pad actually. I like the yellow. I think I stole that idea from Seinfeld. He said he writes with blue pen on a legal pad. I like that, and then I use voice memos a lot when I'm out and about. But yeah, I feel mixed about it. I've been really good at setting up my home studio little space to write and record ideas. It's usually I try to find like a really bad sports talk radio, and I put it just below where I can hear what they're saying, and I just have that going, and I forget that I'm trying to write, and then I start to write. So a lot of my voice memos have some guy. He's like, "Yeah, the Broncos suck this year, and the line needs to work," and I'm just like recording ideas. That's how it works for me. It's just forgetting that you're trying.
You have a couple really cool songs you're working on right now, though, that I've heard since being in quarantine for the first time. So
yeah,
as much as he's like, I'm not writing that much, he really is creating some beautiful stuff, in my opinion.
With Jerry, yeah, I think we've been sharing a lot of ideas back and forth. And your best friend is boredom with creativity. So if you don't allow yourself to be bored because of all of these, leaps in technology, so you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have Netflix with a Rolodex of movies that will go on until forever. You have all of these outlets that aren't making you bored. So when I was living in China for 3 months back in 2007, and I wrote more in those 3 months than I'd have ever written because I didn't understand what was on the TV. That was a formative time, but it also taught me, the cabin in the woods idea makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I think part of it is having the discipline to leave your phone somewhere else when you go to that space and just kind of hunker down.
Who asked who out first?
Did you kidnap me? Was that the...
Well, yeah, I guess I did because I asked Wes if I could kidnap him, which is not a real kidnapping if you ask first.
Yeah.
I would ask who initiated the first kiss, but it sounds like Brandy was like, had you on a leash for a few
I
days.
don't think I initiated. Did I initiate it?
Yeah, you said I just fell into it. You were telling me a story. So Brandy had to drive 30, 40 minutes to her nanny job in the morning, and I was like, well, you can crash here. And there was a bunch of people over our house, it was now our house this time, and Brandy was like, I was like, well, you can sleep in the bed, you know. I'm like, what, you know, I'm not trying to be weird. And then she kissed me in the bed. She said something like, then I just kind of fell into it, and then we kissed. It was a play is play.
I like it. You get what you want.
I got what I want. Yeah.
When I asked her if she'd be my girlfriend, Brandy gave me like, should I tell this or is
Yeah,
this
you
not?
can say it. It's okay.
So I was about to leave for tour, and I asked her. First, I said, "Would you be my girl, like in a movie?" Thinking that she would understand what I was saying. And she's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And I was like, "No, will you be my girlfriend?" And she gave me, you know, those handle bags from Starbucks. She gave me a handle bag that was like filled almost to the brim with condoms. She's like, "Be safe." I was about to leave for tour, and I was like, "No, I want to be with you." And then
I was like,
that's
have
how
fun
we
tour,
started
just
dating.
don't bring me back anything.
Yeah, that's how we
Don't
started
bring me
dating.
any souvenirs, okay?
Was that she was trying to be so cool and like, I could deal with this. You need to be open because you're a musician. I was like, no, I really like you.
Well, because when I hooked up with Wes, when I did that very forward kidnap call, I did it because I realized I was like getting older in my head, and I was traveling all the time because I was the adventure nanny. So I was traveling with all these families, and I wasn't home long enough to have a stable relationship, but I'm really bad at hooking up with people. And so I was like, I'm going to learn how to sleep with people without caring about them. And Wes was my experiment. And it turns out he's the last guy I slept with.
Wes, if you can tell us your favorite thing about Brandy.
Oh.
My favorite thing about Brandy is probably how, I was going to say your laugh, but I think it's more how open you are with people. Like you can get people to open up based on how open you are. So it's like an FBI agent that gets secrets out of people, but in a positive way where we'll meet people and it's like you get close to them quickly. And I feel like more introverted and it's hard for me to warm up to somebody, and Brandy is like the opposite. So I think opposites kind of attracted that way in the first place because I found that to be hard, and I love that about you.
Aw.
That's so cute.
Brandy's a charmer.
To say that, even though you're right, charming almost seems like efforted. She's like effervescent in her ability. But we won't make this our.
You're that way, Sarah. Yeah.
But Brandy, what's your favorite thing about Wes?
Wes is a really good listener, and I think that was one of the first things that changed my opinion about him. Because at first I thought of him as an object.
Wow, the chemistry was strong between
No, but I just remember everyone thought he was so handsome, which he is. And I just remember one of the conversations we had. You remembered something I had just said kind of in passing, and that was the beginning of my realization that there was so much more depth behind those beautiful blue eyes than I thought there was. I was like, oh, he's smart too. That's not fair. Yeah.
Some of the best conversations I've had in my life have been with Wes, hands down.
Max says that a lot.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
No, he's such
that means the world.
Okay, when it comes to toilet paper, over or under?
Ooh, I don't care.
Over. What you mean when you pull? Where you pull from?
Yeah. Does it come from?
Over. Over.
I think under looks better.
Brandy
but I don't
doesn't even
really
reset the toilet paper. She just puts the new roll on top of the empty one, and I'm just like, okay, I guess this is my job.
I'm not a nice person to live with.
Brandy is one of those people. The more you get to know her, the more you love her. Right when you love her too much, you know her more, and then you fall harder.
I know. I don't hate it when I see it. I just laugh because I'm like, wow, that's like one step like short of finishing the job, but I'll do it.
Sometimes there's a little bit left on that other roll.
Do you guys like date night out or date night in? Not by force, but
Not now.
Yeah. I think we're lucky enough to live in a city, so we love walking to dates, and we've talked about this a lot, where I think the walk of our dates is always the best part of the date. And then we have a trick for being on dates now, because I do think it's better out in terms of having a conversation. Otherwise, we'll just end up doing like work or answering emails. But when we sit at the bar, we have to sit at the bar, and then we have the greatest conversations, because when you're face to face and on a date, it just seems pressurized and like you're trying to come up with conversation. And it's nice if you have another, like
once in a while,
say hey to the chef or
there's something to watch too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we would honestly maybe get bored at dinner and start fighting just out of the boredom.
Yeah.
You know, like, and when there's a little bit of just something in front of us, and then we can turn and face each other at moments.
And there's someone in front of you, so you can't say horrible things to your partner because you have a witness, you know?
Everybody's different. That really works for us, though. I don't know why, but that really has made dinner so much more chill and fun.
Yeah, it's been really beautiful.
When it's like an anniversary dinner every time where you're like,
how was your taste, sweetie?
What's going on? How are you?
Hi!
And we've got a party crasher.
Hey, cutie! Well, it's great to see you guys.
Thank you.
This was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That you guys took the time just to hear from you, but also to do this because we were really. Oh, we gotta thank you. Now you're in a good.
Thank you.
Wait, yeah, buddy.
Thank you.
Say thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss Brandy. And we're
Talk soon.
pod every time anything happens in our house and on.
Yeah.
We'll even record and send you videos.
Perfect.
Thank you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.